Yay.
There we go.
There we go. All right. Well, it's 11:30, so let's kick this off. I am Valerie Lockhart. I'm the executive director of the Albert Lea-Freeborn County Chamber, and we do this monthly webinar series called Chamber Lead, which is learn, engage, um, achieve, and develop. And so it's different topics, helping our members and the business community understand some things that are changing and different things that are affecting them and our economy and our community. And today we are going to be talking about cybersecurity for your business. And I am joined here by Paul Davis and Aaron Johnson, and they are going to be sharing some information um, on cybersecurity and how to stay safe. But I will turn it over to you all to introduce yourselves and a little bit about what you do and how long you've been at it.
All right. Well, I can start.
All right.
So,
Don't fight.
my yeah, my name is Aaron Johnson. I've been with WCTA for about 16 years, and I got my start um, running they had a small computer shop in WCTA. So I would help our members with fix their computers, IT related questions. Ran into a lot of cybersecurity type incidents and stuff that the people would get involved in. And from there, I moved on to being kind of like our company's like internal IT. So
Nice.
when
Nice.
something goes wrong, everybody puts up their hand and says, Aaron, you've been doing
Yep.
it a long time. So my name is Paul Davis. I'm the network manager, and I've been here almost 7 years. And I take care of some of the field related things, the routers, and the cybersecurity stuff with our committees and things with Aaron and several others. So I guess that's about enough for introductions.
Well, one thing I didn't do, we said WCTA, but we didn't really talk about what that is. So can you tell us
Okay,
a little bit about what WCTA stands for and what do you do?
sure. WCTA is Winnebago Cooperative Telecom Association, and we're WCTA Fiber Internet is our full name.
Okay.
We have fiber optics in the ground in dozens of communities. So we're up in Albert Lea, and we're building east of Albert Lea right now. We're in the process of another 1,000 homes this year east of Albert Lea will all be fiber by the end of the year.
Awesome.
So yeah, it's
Excellent.
really good, and we're several hundred now in Albert Lea. We've done 2/3 of the town of Albert Lea as well. So
Okay.
yep,
Awesome.
we've been a
Thank you.
fiber provider for a long time.
It is good to have you. Right.
Okay.
Let's do here we go. Share this out. Make sure y'all can
Oh,
see that.
yep.
All right.
So that's us, WCTA Fiber Internet. And we'll just go through a little bit of the agenda. We're going to talk about a couple of definitions and who are the bad actors and what are their objectives. We're going to talk about some general awareness and computer and other information backups and password management and anything else that we want to talk about. So that's our general outline. If you go to the next slide. Well, what is cybersecurity? By definition, it's the practice that keeps customer systems and electronic data safe from bad actors. And I mean, I've been in this a long time. I've been at WCTA for 7 years almost, but I've been in this for 40. I've been doing this an awfully long time. So I've seen things change, and the bad actors aren't what they were a decade ago, even. There time was where people would try to hack a network just to hack a network, but it's big business now. It's I mean, nobody hacks a network just to be mean. They do it because they think they can get something out of it. And Aaron, have you also noticed changes in your career? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I remember when I saw my first crypto locker infection, and so it used to be that they would put a pop-up on your screen like something scary, and it was hard to get the pop-up off the screen. But like you reboot your computer and everything's fine. And then I remember the first time that I tried, saw one of these things, and I thought, oh, this is just fake or whatever, and then you try to open a file and the file comes up corrupted, and that's when I realized, oh, we got something different going on here. That was, I think, around 2010 maybe. So yes, the types of threats do evolve. The way that they try to um, exploit people. They come up with new tactics all the time. AI is revolutionizing that as well. One other thing I wanted to highlight here too is that cybersecurity is not like a product, right? Like on here, our definition is pretty intentional. Say it's the practice, it's the things you do is cybersecurity. Cybersecurity isn't like a thing you buy and then we're safe now,
I'm
Wouldn't that be
sure
nice? That'd
there
be
are
nice.
some companies that try to sell their tools that sound
Yeah.
that way, but
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be nice?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
When you,
the sales pitches you get will
yeah.
present it that way, but yeah, I mean, yeah.
Real world is different. So yeah. Can we go to this slide I meant to have at the end? So could we skip this one and go to the next one? There we go. So, why and how do they target businesses? Well, the why is it's money. That's why they do this. I mean, there's any number of ways. Ransomware is real common. You'll hear about that a lot, where they get in and all your servers get encrypted, and hey, for a modest fee, you can have the key to decrypt them, and then you can get your stuff back. I mean, sounds great. Doesn't always work that way, but again, this is really big business. This is I've been to several seminars with the FBI and other forensic organizations. The people that are doing this, they're not just some kid in a basement somewhere. I mean, this is a corporation, this is a government, and it's very professional. If you are hacked, they've got professional attorney-like people. I mean, it's an amazing system, sadly, but
Yeah.
there it is.
They have call centers and stuff that
Yes.
you can dial the support number and they will actually
Yeah.
answer and walk you through how to buy cryptocurrency, how to send it
Yep.
to them. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah. It's
Wow.
amazing. And at one time, you may, I don't know, over the years, the big corporations, the IBMs and the big companies were big targets. But that's really hard to do. It's really hard to get in. They have a lot of money. They can throw a lot of money at IT and at administration, at firewalls, and all these protection systems. It's harder to get in. But over the years, decades now, they've found that, well, if we could get 20 million from IBM, that's really difficult. But if I could get 300,000 from a small business from their insurance, deal.
Right.
It's so
Right.
much easier to get in to a small business. That's become the preferred target as opposed to large businesses.
Okay. I have a question for you all.
Sure.
Is there a way to avoid having to pay that to get your stuff back, or is it basically just you have to pay to get
That's
you have to pay?
it's a good question. And Aaron, we'll be touching on some of the backup
Okay.
methods. The answer is probably yes, but
Okay.
maybe
if you
not.
don't have good backups, yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
If you don't have
Okay.
another
good
copy of your data, if you
Yeah.
don't have another copy of your data
Then you need it.
and you need it, and the only copy that you have is encrypted by them,
Got it.
Yeah.
most likely no, because the method they're using for encryption is the same method that you would use like when you're doing your online banking, that kind of stuff. Like,
Yeah. Okay.
it is quite secure
Yeah.
the way that they're doing it. So
Yeah.
you're not going to brute force break your data back out.
Not happening. No.
Okay.
Sometimes, occasionally, you can get lucky, and the FBI will shut down one of
Intervene
these.
or
Yeah.
something.
Right.
They'll
Yeah.
shut down a command and control server and do it and get lucky and get the
Get the
keys,
keys. Yeah.
and then there is a website that they have where you can check to see essentially like if they got if they have the key to
Yeah.
unlock your stuff. But I mean, most of the time, no, you are either stuck paying the ransom or restoring from a backup or
Yeah.
making do without your information.
Without whatever got stolen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Okay.
the way that this happens, how they do it, I don't if there used to be a show on TV called 24. I don't know if anyone's ever
I
watched
do
that show.
remember that.
Yeah.
Yep.
I can still remember watching when when Jack, the guy's like, hey, we need to get into the NSA's firewall. Can you breach their firewall for us? And tick, 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 yep, okay, we're in. And I mean, first off, that doesn't happen. And second, all breaching a firewall, really, it's not what they do. The way and the method that they use is people.
Yeah.
That's how they break in. That's how they do this, and it's not changed in 20 years. It's easier to fool people into doing something that you want them to do than it is for you to try to hack through a NSA firewall to do something. So social engineering and email is still the number one. I believe it's still close to 80% people will get an email. They'll click on the wrong thing. And I don't know if anyone has ever seen this, but on a hard drive today, on the laptop I'm using or your computer, how long would it take to encrypt your entire hard drive to where you couldn't use it anymore? Seconds.
Yeah. I was going to say not long.
It's unbelievable how fast it is today to just, that's it. Then there's no going back. So it's important that people are careful. And that's kind of what we want to talk about a little bit here. So if we could go to the next slide. Well, it's a little smaller than it looks on my paper here, but I think we can see it. Yeah, it's human error is still, these numbers are out there. You can do a Google search and you can read these yourself, but it's amazing that cybersecurity breaches still to this day are done by one of us doing the wrong thing. So if you can scroll down, there's some interesting information here, some insider information. There's things you could read through this or do a Google search. The point I wanted to make is that it's us. We're the ones. So, Aaron, do you have any more on these statistics you wanted to maybe touch on?
I mean, you're definitely right about, it's a lot easier to trick someone into opening the door than it is to pick the lock, So that's ultimately, that's their target is the people. If you do open up that door to them, they have lots of interesting methods then to affect your computer, other computers on your network, servers, and So
I guess
go ahead.
I have one question on that. So if you're working with a business, besides the kind of hardware side or the, like tools side of things, is training a big part of the cybersecurity offering then, so that employees know what to look for and that kind of thing?
Great question. Yes, that's a great question. And any business, no matter how big, should be part of something we're going to touch on in a couple of slides.
Okay. But I'm jumping the gun.
No, that's okay. You're good at it. That's awesome. But we'll be touching on that. But the answer to your question is absolutely. Training is the number one preventative measure.
Okay.
To keep this from happening.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. You wouldn't take an employee that's like, new and say, okay, here's our industrial lathe. Like, go ahead and figure it out.
Have at it.
I'm sure you know what you're doing.
Right.
Just go ahead and operate this thing. I mean,
you'll figure it out. There's a book. You'll figure it out.
Yeah, dangerous. It's like if you put them in like a dangerous situation, it's like it's kind of incumbent upon you to give them some training so that they don't have an accident. And cybersecurity should be treated the same way. This is potentially something potentially dangerous for your business, for your customers, for your other business, vendors and stuff. And so, that's something that needs some training.
Yep. And on the next slide, I don't want to go too deep into this. I didn't read a ton about it, but this came up just last week. You can see the date on it. So this isn't the city of Manhattan. This is the city of Winona.
In our region. Yep.
Exactly. So this is a perfect example of the smaller targets, but they've got cyber insurance too. So they'll, if this was an easier target, just same thing with the pizza shops, with anything else. Any smaller business is a target because they can get something out of it. So,
well, and to your point, like one big IBM score for millions. I mean, if you had 100 of the smaller ones, it's probably easier
Yep.
than the one big fish, right?
Yep. Then you're just better. Well, sadly, they're better off.
Yeah.
Okay. And so some of the things in the training that employees should get, and Aaron's really good at this. He'll go through some more of it. I'll just touch on the things, but emails. We could spend this whole hour teaching you and showing you how to spot fake emails, but 2 years ago, it was a lot easier to spot fake emails. Today
Yeah.
with AI, I mean, they should get jobs. These guys are pretty good at it. I mean, they can
Right.
make really good looking fake emails that can trick people and post, Instagram, I say email because it's still the most common, but anything, Facebook post, chat messages, things like, it's amazing what can be done that looks real.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
training is absolutely crucial. Um, I got
Yeah,
an
and
email.
anymore. Oh, sorry. Yeah, and
Go ahead.
anymore, like if you're interacting with like another person, I mean, there's a pretty good chance that they could be using AI to draft the email to you anyways. I
Right,
mean,
Right.
right. So
I mean, there's people out there
it's
that don't
everywhere.
write their own emails.
Right.
So,
So
it's how do you distinguish? Yeah.
I got an email. I think everybody in our company has gotten dozens of these where our boss, he's running into the board meeting and he needs us to buy, gift cards so he can give them out. It's so common, and you see this example in a lot of the training that we go to in different conferences, but it's still happening. And what they'll
Yeah.
try to do is I think this is my last point here, but to be careful of an email that has immediacy.
Yeah.
Valerie, I need you to go do this. I need you to right now go take care of this and get me these things.
Yeah.
Well, okay. And what
Why
we use
the fire?
there, why is there a fire? And that
Yeah.
should be the first thing that we train employees on. And we use a system called, it's right there, it's called Know Before, but there are others. That's just what we use. And it's a security awareness system. And it's a great investment for any small business, any large business. And I'm not just saying Know Before, but something. So I'll get an email, a couple times a week, and Aaron will sign us up for, training about it, making sure we're aware of things. But then the system follows up with really well crafted fake emails that are like,
Tests.
is Mark really sending that, or is Aaron really sending that? You got to click here and we have to redo our IT passwords, and wait a minute. So it's a really good system for that. So having something like that on your plan for a business, it really should be in everyone's plan. So,
So it'll send like tests out to employees to see if they
yep,
click on things, and
yep.
then I'm assuming whoever the administrator is gets some kind of report on statistics of their organization or whatever, like 80% of your people are dumb and
I don't
clicked
know,
on this
Aaron.
thing.
Aaron, who's that guy that gets those reports, Aaron?
Yeah. No,
uh,
right. Yeah, yeah, in your security awareness training system, yeah, you can have someone that get like the administrator of it that gets the person that's creating the training or like picking the training assignments, that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, they get a report that says these many people clicked.
Yeah.
A lot of times you can also have it automatically enroll them for like for lack of a better term, like remedial training
Yeah.
classes or something,
I
help
suppose if
them.
you see like certain things are getting through more often, you can do
mm-hmm.
better training on those things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It's just a school. They're gonna, you're gonna watch some training videos or some like learning modules where it goes through and teaches you the things to watch out for, and then yes, and then the self phishing,
Yeah.
where you send a simulated phishing email to your users, and yeah, see
No,
if they bite.
that sounds hugely
Yeah.
needed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's important.
Yeah.
All right. So, well, you had asked the question before about, how can would you have to pay somebody? And every business is different. Every home is different.
Yeah.
I have probably more backups than I should, but I'm a little paranoid that way. I've been doing this a long time. I've
Right.
seen a
You've
lot of
seen what
bad things.
happens.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
not just cybersecurity. I mean, I've seen hard drive fails and other things. So, but backups are super important to almost every business. So there may be some businesses that are online only where they don't have anything on the local computers, but that's pretty rare. I mean, there's
Yeah.
usually things on your systems that you would hate to lose.
Yeah.
So having some type of backup, I mean, even, boy, the little USB hard drives you can buy. I mean, even
Yeah.
something as simple as that, but you have to figure out, well, what kind of backup are you going to do? You're just going to back up your documents? Is that enough? What about pictures? What about, those things? You have to figure out what
Yeah.
your style is and how often you're going to back it up. You're going to remember to plug the thing in every week? Well, you don't have to. If you just left the hard drive plugged in and ran your backup from time to time, that'd be great. Except what if your computer gets compromised and so does your backup? So
Right.
it's really important that you figure out how often you're going to back up, how many backup versions you're going to keep, and have you ever tested it? Have you ever restored just to see if your pictures are actually there? Do they come back?
Yeah.
Or your data files or whatever it is in your case. And in our industry, it's called an air gap very often. For example, the USB hard drive, just a little external hard drive, don't leave it plugged in. Run your
Yeah.
backup, unplug it, put it in the safe. That's just, and if you do that and you have a really good backup with all of the things that you might need to rebuild, your chances of needing to pay somebody aren't zero, but they're greatly minimized.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Aaron, what do you got on backups? You got a ton of stuff on backups.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you hit a lot of the high points. Yes, you need to ask yourself, um, what would I be really sad if I lost, right? And also like how frequently is this information changing is
Yeah.
should dictate, you know, um, if you run backups nightly, you're gonna, and something bad happened the next day, you would lose like that day's worth of information. Is that okay? Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
Can your business survive that? Um, and probably so. I mean, you can back up more frequently than daily if you need to. But uh, if you're backing up only weekly or something, and it happens on the wrong day, you may have to go back. You may lose a many days worth of information, and so that's, it's really it's going to depend on your business and how fast your data turns over, and those business requirements. But that's the questions to ask yourself is, you know, what amount of information am I okay losing? And that will dictate how frequently you need to do the backups, um, and may dictate a little bit about how many you keep, because if you're backing up like every hour or something, like you are gonna, it'd be hard to keep like a year's worth of backups where you're backing up,
Everything every day. That
24,
would be
yeah,
just too
24
Hourly.
much.
times
Yeah.
365,
Sure. Sure.
and the volume of information as well. So that's something else to keep in mind. But yes, like how far back would I need to look? Because it is not impossible that someone could get into your system and reside there for a fairly long amount of time. I think one of the I don't have a stat looked up, but I know that like some of these bigger hacks and stuff, they were not discovered for like 6 months, like they just sat
Okay.
in the
Mm-hmm.
systems watching. So that is something to think about as well. You know, or if you delete, or even just if you deleted a file, like,
Yeah.
and didn't realize it until, how far back, is until it's probably not really that important. um, and then yeah, air gapping, yes, that is disconnecting something from it's disconnecting your backup from anything else, so it's not reachable. um that's going to keep it safe if your computer gets affected. Another way to achieve that, that doesn't involve like physically like unplugging things, is using immutability. That just means it cannot be changed for a certain amount
Okay.
of time. And so there are like network attached storage NAS devices, like QNAP, um,
Yeah, there's a
Mm.
ton.
different
There's a lot of good,
brands, right?
yeah, a lot
Yeah,
of good pieces of hardware you could buy.
yeah, that that have the option of turning on that immutability as part of the storage. And so,
Okay.
so that you can save stuff there, and, like, even if your computer got encrypted, it does not allow anything to make changes to that data. Now that's maybe not as foolproof as air gapping, because,
Yeah,
what if
it's
they
pretty tough to
infect
go through
and
the air.
you have to get into the NAS, and yeah,
They got in there. Yeah.
yeah,
Right,
yeah,
exactly.
so you would want to, harden your stuff as much as you can.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, that's a good kind of middle ground though between, um, safety and convenience, which are two things that generally exist on opposite ends of a spectrum, right? So you have
And there's a ton
convenience,
of
and you've got, but the convenient stuff is usually not very secure. The most secure
Right.
stuff is pretty inconvenient. So
right.
you kind of
They
gotta,
don't make it easy and secure all in the same sentence. It just not it just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
not usually, yeah.
No.
How
And I
would,
go ahead.
oh, I was just going to say, how would somebody know? You mentioned that sometimes they can get into your system and kind of hide out there and watch and
Yep.
kind of evaluate what things are moving or how things are moving. How would somebody know if that were happening? Are there signs or are there like
Ooh.
scanners or something that you can use to tell if there is somebody in there?
If if you have an up-to-date antivirus, which I think every system on the planet now, as long as it's updated, has that.
Yeah.
It's more difficult for files of that type to get in,
Yeah.
but it's the same story as before. If someone sends an email and someone clicks on the right thing, or well, the wrong thing, I guess in this case, and
Yeah.
then says and answers in the right way, well, there could be a piece of software now installed on that computer that wouldn't get caught because
Not
it was
detected.
told yes that it's
Yeah.
okay. Well, then it
Okay.
just sits there, and 6 months from now it fires off and does its thing. So yeah,
Okay.
which is
Okay.
why restore testing. I can't tell you. I've been doing this a long time, and testing restores is so important. I used to go into businesses all the time. I'm not exaggerating, and every day religiously they were. Anybody old enough to remember tape drives? Does anybody remember those? Yeah, okay. Well, they would be swapping their little tape every day religiously. But
Yep.
when we went into the software, the tape had been full for 2 years. So they
So it was
needed,
not,
it wasn't doing anything.
yeah.
But and nobody did anything wrong. They just had never been trained that they should look for that. They just swap the tape, push the button, and go on.
This
So
is what I'm supposed to do.
yeah, right, exactly. And
Yeah.
it's an
Yeah.
unfortunate thing, but that's why restore testing is so important. It's great you did the backup, but if you can't restore from it, you're wasting your time.
It's no good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Next one.
Okay. All right.
Um, how many people out in the world have more than two passwords to remember? I think okay, everybody, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah. A password manager is something we adopted as a company. When did we put that in? A couple of years ago now, isn't it, Aaron? 2, 3 years?
Yeah, maybe even more than a
Oof,
couple of
might be
years at this
more.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a system that goes on your computer or in your Google Chrome. It's a little thing that goes up top. And when you click on it, all you have to do is put in your username, your password, and hopefully it's a good password on it. And what it does is it opens up a little system that manages every website you go to, every password you ever need. It's all in there, and you only have to remember the one username and password, and it handles things for you. When I go to my one of my banking sites, for example, I don't have to go find it. The little system comes down and says, "Hey, this is your banking site. You want to fill in your information?" And I just say yes, and off it goes. And then when
Yeah.
you're done and you close the browser, your Google Chrome, well, then it goes away. It's not there anymore. So it's not, even if someone happened to hack you at that point, that information is no longer, it's not on your computer. So,
Yeah.
okay. LastPass is what we use. There's plenty of others. But as far as password management goes, password one is not a good password. And I'm pretty sure, Aaron, have you ever looked password like with a capital P used to be like the main, the most used, most common password, and it probably still is. But I strongly recommend against using the word password for anything that you do. I really like having LastPass or another system, but on top of that, having a multi-factor authentication. When I sign into my bank using LastPass, I don't have to know my name and password. It does it for me, but then my phone dings and goes, "You can't get in unless you have this code." That is so important. Multi-factor authentication. It used to be called 2FA, but it's now multi because, there's many ways to do it now. But All of our major services require this, and I think it's a good thing. I don't have any statistics, Aaron, on like how much of a help that is as far as how much does it, you know, take away from compromising. But do you have any statistics on that or comments on MFA?
Um, I don't have statistics other than to say, I mean, that's usually hammered on quite a bit at like the conferences and stuff I attend,
Yeah.
is to um, have multi-factor basically anywhere that will support it. Just because it is, so common for, people to either just be using bad passwords, or if you're reusing passwords, like that's another key thing. You don't want to have um, um, like a password that's like your common password you use different places, because every resource should have its own password, its own
Mhm.
unique password, not based on other one, not just a variation on one password, because let's say you have like you're using the same password everywhere, and you're signed up for you know like Spotify or something, or some like like a recipe website or something like that, and they, maybe they don't have the best security, and they get hacked.
Right.
Well, when you signed up for that recipe website, you probably gave them your email address and your password. And so, if you're using that same, what they'll do is they'll take that same email address and password combination, and they'll try it everywhere.
Other sites. Yeah.
Yes. And so, um, that is often the way that these breaches happen, is
Yep.
just the reuse of passwords. And so, yeah, you definitely want to have a unique password everywhere, which is just about impossible to remember. If
Yeah.
you're depending on the amount of websites you log into, that's pretty challenging, and that's why the
Yeah.
password manager exists.
It's
It's
so
to
important because so you're running the password manager, LastPass or other whatever it is you're running. The first time that I go to a website and I need to generate a password to sign in, I don't have to try to come up with a password. It
It
comes up
makes
with a
it,
password this long and it puts it in there and it remembers it, and it's different than any other password used anywhere. So it's really good to have something like that. I don't.
get
It's really,
this
you ever sat there trying to do a password and trying to come up with A7?
meeting all of the
Right,
criteria.
right,
Yeah.
and it's not something that we as humans do quickly, and this thing it's that long and it works, and there it is. So yeah, I
Uh,
think
this might be going down a weird rabbit hole, but like, has anyone ever come across a password manager that was a fake? Like, is that a thing?
I have not, Aaron.
Okay.
No, I
Because
don't. I don't think so. I mean, but that is a good point, though. I mean,
Hmm.
you will want to pick like something that is,
trustworthy
Verified,
and
yes.
yes,
yeah,
because you are trusting this service with all of your passwords. So and uh and in general, there are some offline ones, but in general these are like online
on the
services.
browser kind of.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah.
yep. And so um and the information is stored in the cloud, because they want to make it convenient for you to be able to access your passwords from anywhere, which is good.
Right.
On any device, you can get these apps, on your phone, it's installed in a browser, so you don't have to carry around a little password book or something. I mean, you've
Right.
got access to this anywhere where you have internet access, which is a good thing. But that also that convenience comes at the cost of having it be out there, like in the cloud. And so
Yeah.
you do want to have a really good password, because if you're putting all
Hmm.
your eggs in the one basket, you
Yeah.
want to have that basket like wrapped in bubble wrap and locked in a safe. So I mean, like,
Yeah.
you don't want,
Yeah.
One
yeah,
thing I should say too, you mentioned about so LastPass, others. I keep saying LastPass, password manager.
Yeah.
So the information, the passwords, and none of that is stored on your computer, and
Yeah.
it's in the cloud, but it's not actually stored in the cloud. So
It's
if
on their
somebody,
server or
well, it is,
whatever.
but it's completely encrypted. It's just gibberish. So if
Okay.
LastPass, for example, did get compromised, they wouldn't be able to get what our passwords were
Got it. Okay.
because it's not stored there readable. So
Yeah,
until
it's
you
stored
actually type
encrypted.
in your email and your password, it's encrypted up there in the sky. And then
Okay.
it
Yeah,
only decrypts when you need it right there and then. So it's, I don't know. I guess we kind of beat this one to death,
There's
but you
well,
should be
but it's
using
good
this if
though.
you're not. So
Yeah.
well, and
Yeah.
and that also highlights though the importance of having that really good password because
that's a good
it's not
point.
it's not impossible that for these password managers to you know uh, they're not impossible to hack. It has actually happened in the past, and vaults were stolen. The password vaults of users were stolen. But again, as Paul pointed out, they are encrypted,
Yep.
but they're encrypted with the password that you supplied.
Got
So,
it.
I mean, if your password for your password manager is password 1 2 3 4,
Then you're
it's
You're,
likely going to
they're
be
gonna
wide
break that
open.
yeah.
pretty
Yeah.
quick, right?
Unless
Exactly.
you
So,
also sign up for the MFA on the system.
Yeah.
So then if they did get your password, a message would be sent out to your phone and they can't get in until they had that code. So
Yeah.
there's that MFA trick. I mean, this is a great system without MFA, but not infallible.
Yeah.
But MFA
Yeah.
still not infallible, but it makes it a lot
Harder.
harder for someone to
Yeah.
get into a password management system.
I guess the bulk or the crux of it is the easier it is for you, the easier it is for everybody else.
Right.
yeah.
You
There's
don't.
one other thing that's not on the slide, but I'll mention, I guess,
Mhm.
that kind of does buck that trend just slightly, and that is um, pass keys as
Mm,
opposed to passwords.
Mhm.
yep.
So this is something that you have likely started to see.
I've seen a bigger push for that
Mhm.
recently. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. There are, there's an internet consortium of, the biggest players in tech, Apple, Google, Microsoft, that got together to try to kind of solve this problem of passwords. And so um, they use, um, private key cryptography, the same kind of system that you use when you access banking websites, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
The security certificate that shows that you are actually talking to the bank, that who you
Yep.
think you're talking to, and that uh, the way that it secures that communication, the encryption that they uses. Um, so these pass keys are essentially just making an easy way for you to create one of these security certificates that proves your identity, and then saving that on your computer and using that as your pass to get in.
Mhm.
The
Is
nice
it
thing
usually
about
like a biometric or something that how do you prove that you are who you are?
Well, it's based on the security certificate that gets created in your computer, and
Okay.
so and like saved into either saved into like the secure chip in your device, or
Got it. Okay.
you can also save them into password managers. Password managers are
Yep.
adding this functionality as well. So
Okay.
so you visit the site like Amazon or something is one of the ones that lets you do it, and it will say, oh, do you want to set yourself up to sign in with a security certificate, with a
Yeah.
pass key, and you click the button that says yes, and you get a little pop up in your browser that says, hey, this site is trying to wants to make it so you can sign in with a security certificate, with a pass key, and do you want to do that? You want to save it? You say yes, and it gets saved in your in either your computer or in your password vault if you're using a password manager and saving it there. And then the next time you visit the site, your computer just presents it with the certificate that says, "Yeah, here I am."
Authenticated. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Yep, and it's
Which.
256 characters long. It's
Yep.
nothing that you're going to be able to, no one can trick you into supplying this to them, right?
Right.
Like,
Right.
you don't know what it is at all. So there's no
Okay.
way you can type in this key to them, right? So it is just, it is a very secure system. Some people even, if you sign up for something that way, um, there are some people that consider that like as good as having password plus MFA.
Okay.
So,
Which is it's great, but it's also not infallible. Nothing
yep.
Nothing I
is.
would imagine
I
is,
mean,
yeah.
if somebody stole my computer and my passkeys were here on my laptop, and I went to Amazon and that's what I was using, if someone got my computer, got my password, and got my computer running, well, I hope they buy nice stuff. I hope they have fun with it, or send some to me too,
Ship it
right?
to me too.
Right.
Yeah.
Hello. So I mean, it's no matter what you do, there's a way around it, but you have to do something. You've
Yeah.
got to do something, and these are just techniques that every small business, every person should be using.
Yeah. All right. Oh, do we want to go back to there was one that we skipped?
Yeah, it was just about like fiber optics and security. Everything WCTA does is all fiber optic. We don't do anything over the airways. Everything we do, we bury in the ground, and it's more about reliability than security. But it was brought up in one of our topics that we should mention it, that part of your security is how you get your internet. If you only get it
Yeah.
over the airwaves on your phone, well, there's something to be said about that's not as secure. But I don't want to dwell on. I just wanted to point out that fiber optic is, if you have that choice between fiber and something else, fiber.
Well, and I guess from the business standpoint, I'm assuming most people are uh not really hardwiring in with Cat 5 or, there's a lot of Wi-Fi work going on. Are there any best practices there that you can share for kind of like in the building wide infrastructure?
Sure,
Yeah.
there's a lot of them. The biggest thing I would say, so let's small business, and they have some sort of router or firewall from their internet company sitting in the back room, but they have customers coming in and they want to allow them internet access to help bring in customers. That's a pretty
Yeah.
reasonable example. Well, there's a lot of places that would just give them access to their firewall, to their router, in the same password. Well, that's dangerous. That's dangerous. Most, I would say, just about every router firewall can be set up now with what's called a guest network.
Yeah.
So you don't need a different piece of equipment, but that piece of equipment has a network that's only for the business. So your hand terminals and the things you walk around and you need for your business, they're on one network, completely isolated from your customer
Public.
network.
Yeah.
Exactly. So if you
Okay.
have anything like that, using a guest network, or it may be called something else, but with isolation turned on, where each of the people that connect to it, they can't see each other.
Yeah.
Like on a normal network, once you connect, I can see other computers here on the network, but in a guest network, you should not be able to.
Okay. Okay.
Yep. And yeah, and also you want to have there's different when you're setting up your Wi-Fi, there's different encryption schemes, basically that it will present. There's like AES, trying to remember.
WPA3 now,
Yeah,
and
WPA3. Yeah, that's the
yep,
newest one. Yeah,
yep,
so some of the older ones have been cracked. That's why they come up with new ones. They don't
Okay.
they don't do it for fun. Like they come up
If
with
it still
newer.
works, they leave it.
yeah, right.
Yeah, right. Yeah. There's no need to invent a more secure encryption if the one you have works, or has not been
Yeah,
broken, or is not seemingly in danger of being broken soon.
Right.
So that's so yeah, like if you still have like an old router that uses an old, like, not WPA encryption at all, you'd want to
It's more
like maybe
vulnerable.
replace
yeah,
that,
much
right?
more.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, because right. Yeah, you don't want someone gaining access to that network that you don't intend. And by network, we just mean like your SSID, like the network. When you pull up your phone and you're looking at the list of networks, like that's what we mean. Like,
Yep.
Yeah.
you just make a different name for the guests to connect to and enable isolation in the router, and then that'll keep them
That's a
from
big
connecting
deal.
to yours. Yeah, keep them from connecting to your stuff and other guests.
And other
Yeah.
people. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Go
Any
back
other
here.
questions?
Yeah, I want to open it up if anybody else. Angie.
Yeah. Angie, do you have any questions for Aaron or I?
Well, well, I have more, so I will keep asking if you're okay with that.
Sure.
The
Yeah.
one thing I'm super curious about is just what you're seeing in with AI, like what kinds of tools, or I've always been told that like people are always ahead of security measures, right? And so like what are you seeing out there with the ways that people are using AI on both sides to either combat it and to trick people?
Well, that's a great point. One of the things that I just was at a conference about this, and most of the AI systems, Chat GPT for one, I mean, you don't get to just go in there and say, I want to hack the Pentagon. Tell me how to hack the Pentagon. The answer will be, no, you can't do that.
Right.
Or, well, tell me how to hack a wireless network in a small business. No, you can't. It won't let you. It takes a
There's
lot to be able to,
guardrails.
exactly. They have some guardrails in some of that. But that doesn't mean, I mean, here that might have guardrails. There's many other
Right.
places that use it that don't. But AI and this newer term called quantum computing is going to change things in the next 5 years. So it's going to be interesting. Aaron, you've been to more conferences than I have. What do you have as far as what do they use AI for trying to attack networks?
Yeah. So on the attacking side, again, crafting the phishing emails. You can no longer just look for bad grammar,
Spelling
or
and yeah,
something, like
Right.
something that looks like it was written by a non-English speaker.
yeah,
I mean,
Yeah.
like that's now because a lot of these places are a lot of these people that are doing the attacks are outside of the reach of U.S. law enforcement and like Western law enforcement, that's, English is not like the usually the first language there. So it used to be that you could spot this kind of stuff that way. But now they just have an AI, you give it the prompt, you're like, hey, write me an email that like is about I'm going into a meeting and I need you to get me some gift cards and make
hmm
it instill a sense of urgency and yada yada, and so
put the
and
company
it'll
logo in it, and
Well, and
yeah,
that's what I was
yep
going to say. Like, if it can read any of your prior emails, it probably can take
scoop
on
your
some of the
logo right out of it. Yes.
characteristics.
well,
And
and
yeah,
that's exactly, yeah. I mean, if your email has been compromised, your work
yeah,
email, they can get in there and they can look at the ways that you have written emails in the past and essentially have the AI write an email
mimic.
in,
Yeah,
yeah, mimic you so that and then maybe you send, they have your email account send an email to a vendor or a supplier or something like that and say,
Sure.
oh, I'm uh we got a new bank account here, or for your next invoice I need you to send it, like wire the money here or something
Yeah.
like that,
Good.
yeah,
Electric transfer here instead of yeah.
yeah. Yeah, that's called a business email compromise.
Mhm.
Is
okay,
that kind of attack. But beyond that, they can do the generative AI where it uses like video and audio.
yeah,
Now, even with just like a few still images and like some seconds of audio of a person, they can have it take on your likeness and your voice, and they could have it join a Zoom meeting, for example,
Yeah.
and
how do we know you're real?
respond in real time. Yeah, I
I'm
mean
not.
that's
Just so you know, I'm not. I'm fake. I'm
yeah. So
AI. So,
Paul, you're an
so
avatar.
that's it. That's it.
right. But basically, it's it's going to be harder and harder to determine just from appearances what is real and what is
Yeah.
fake. And
Yeah,
so, having some other method where you verify what that, hey, is this legit? Like, can
yeah,
you text the person? Can you
Call them.
give
I
them
mean,
give them a
call
yeah.
phone
them.
Yeah.
call,
Yeah,
like yeah, don't just believe what's in front of you. You need to
Yeah.
have a good amount of skepticism,
Yeah.
especially if what's happening is um, trying to put you in a high pressure
Right.
situation.
It's
right.
immediate. It's urgent or something. It's
Yeah.
really important.
the
Okay.
same trick they use in high pressure sales, right? They
Yeah,
want to shut down your critical thinking,
Yep.
so that and present you with these are your options, the limited options that they're showing you, and not like
Yep.
all of your options, right?
Make a choice right now. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
there you go. Yeah,
exactly.
exactly. Yep.
Yep. Yeah, I was trying to think other good AI stuff. Well, on the also, AI can do coding now, and
Yeah.
so the the kinds of viruses and stuff, like they can craft novel viruses much more easily these days. And I saw another article recently about some of the more advanced AI models that are finding vulnerabilities in systems that have existed for decades,
Hmm.
and have
Yeah.
been subject to previous, code reviews, that kind of stuff. But AI is finding, ways to crack into these things. So that's another thing to watch
Websites.
for.
Yep. How to crack
Okay.
into it. I mean, the old cracking a website or a database server or something by using a wrong SQL string from the old days. Well, those
Yeah.
types of things, AI can find these things and just compromise web servers. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's a weird and sad but very cool thing.
yeah.
So
It's
I
not all bad news either. Like there
no,
are some
yeah.
legit, there are systems that can use AI to like review emails that are coming into
yep,
you to look for
Scanning.
suspicious things.
Yeah.
And maybe you give it access to see like who you have been corresponding with in the past, and it will highlight for you the fact that like an email came, hey, that this is purporting to be from your contact, but actually the email is coming from somewhere else. You may
Like the
not want to
IP
interact with
address
this.
doesn't
right.
match or
Yeah,
something
something that
or
you'd have
Yeah.
to manually try to figure out. It can do
yeah.
and alert you beforehand, which is pretty neat.
Yes.
So
And
there's some
and
good stuff.
also yeah, and also looking for, like the signs of compromise, like you were talking about. Like a lot of times that takes, where they reside in systems for a long period of time. Like a lot,
Yeah.
the it takes someone trained in IT a lot of times to look for these signs of compromise. But an AI agent may be able to do the work that a human would have done to do that. So
Hmm.
Yeah.
it might give us a method where more, like more people, small business and stuff that maybe wouldn't be able to have, like a forensic investigator come in and look at stuff. It may give us some more options in that on that front. So
Okay. Yeah, when I've done any kind of training, I like to tell people I think of AI like I think of fire. It's like can be used for really, really good things, but can also
Hmm.
destroy everything. So
Yeah.
like you have to just use it wisely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, any last tips or things that you want people to know? I know we've covered a lot so far. So any last words of advice?
yeah, I mean, so like a list of things that they could maybe like take away, I guess, from this, like a kind of first steps, things you can do pretty easily. Um, uh, turn on MFA everywhere where you can, or set a pass key, something like that. Um, Start using a password manager for managing your passwords. And if you're not currently using unique passwords everywhere, do that, right? Like set up the password manager, go to the websites and change the password and save it in the password manager.
Do that.
Um, Back up your critical data. Have a plan for doing that, of course. So maybe that's going to take like some thought, but you know, look look into doing that, right? Even if it's something to begin with as simple as, copying off onto like an external hard drive or something. And
Yeah.
then, you know, you can advance from there. Um, Train your staff. That's something you can start right away. Even if you don't have, sign up for one of these training systems, you can still, um, there are resources out there where you can they'll help you send a phishing email, like self-phish your people if you want to do that. But there are YouTube videos out there on good cybersecurity practices.
Tons of them.
I mean, like, just give them something, some training on how to spot uh, these threats. And one other one here that we didn't really touch on too much, but have like some kind of policy around like verifying before you like make payment or something like that. Like it's something involving money, a process there, right? So that they can't have, like the business email that comes in and says, oh, yeah, we need you to send the payment somewhere else now, or we haven't received this payment, resend it, and here's the PO box to mail it to.
Right.
Or the boss, the fake email from the boss that says, oh, I'm running into a meeting and I'm traveling now and I lost my wallet, I need you to send me some money, send me some gift cards or something like that. I'm throwing a party. I need gift cards for all the employees, get a bunch of gift cards and scratch off the numbers and tell me the numbers or something, like
Yeah.
something
No.
silly, but yeah, have a policy there, a process that is going to involve some kind of checks and
Multiple
balances.
checks.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
that you can't just have a mistake by one person, costing you. Um,
There are plenty of free, like Know Before, security awareness sites. So if you just do a Google search for, well, I use Know Before free alternative. I just did that, and there's several of them you can get set up. They're probably not as advanced as Know Before, but they don't take a lot to set up. They don't
Yeah.
cost anything, and if you've got a little bit of time, it's worth looking into.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, thank you all so much for this. This was really, really helpful. And I appreciate you sharing your knowledge. And how can people reach you if they have other questions? Just the website, or is that the best way?
Yeah, Angie, would you have them, if someone had a question, you and Valerie have been working back and forth, have it just go to you and you could get it
Just
to
reach out
either
to
Aaron or,
us.
yeah, just reach out.
Okay.
If they reach out to you, just get in touch with us. If we can help, we sure will.
Awesome. I
yeah, we've
appreciate
got
that.
yeah, we've got contact information on our website,
Yep.
www dot or no triple dubs.
WCTAtel.net.
Yeah, no triple dub this time. We just
There
got
you
a new
go.
website. So
Yep.
yeah, WCTAtel.net.
Yep.
Nice.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Have a great day, everybody.
You too.
Thank you.